Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors GNN news review video. This week we have some amazing news with a brand new collaboration for next week, and this time we are going to be having a new anime called The Shy Hero. And I've got to be honest, I had no idea what it was about and I had never heard of it. So I actually went and read the manga and I actually quite enjoyed it. It's pretty fun and I think you should read it if you haven't done so yet. I personally really enjoy it. But without further ado, let's take a look at what the cards do in Tower of Saviors. So let's get started with the 1% jackpot card. Actually, before we start that, we are going to look at their exclusive team skills, which is going to be for Shy members, you deal damage regardless of Evil Haze runestones. And we've never really heard of Evil Haze before, so I do believe this is going to be a brand new mechanic for this patch. By the enemies of or the villains of this anime, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what it does. I believe based on the way it's worded, if you dissolve Evil Haze runestones, you might not be able to deal damage. So that might be a problem for regular teams that are not collaboration teams. I hope that's not the case because I personally enjoy it when I can get creative and make team compositions to clear newer stages. But if they put this condition, it might be a little bit hard for regular teams to beat those stages. So we'll see what it is about. And then we are going to get the actual exclusive team skill for the Hero Shy collaboration, which is going to be pretty nice. You do gain a heart power mechanic, which is really cool because I'm going to try avoid spoilers as much as I can, I'm not gonna try to give spoilers, but you should know that for the superheroes in the Shy universe, all their power comes from their heart. So the heart power mechanic is going to be a really nice addition and attention to detail that I really enjoy. The more heart point you have, the more buffs you get, and the more cooldown reduction. Actually, no, not cooldown reduction. The more combos and the more attack you get, which is very, very nice. It also makes heart runestones always dissolvable, even if the enemy has a skill that blocks heart runes from being dissolved, which is also very nice because, again, you cannot block the heart power from these superheroes. So yeah, that is really fun. So now let's take a look at the 1% jackpot card, and this is going to be our protagonist, Shy. She is a fire human, and her power does convert her heart power into fire, which very fitting for her to be a fire human card. In terms of her leader skill, she has very good attack, very good recovery, and very good HP. And I've got to say, this is one of the highest recoveries that you are going to see in a human leader. And the amount of recovery she gives is going to be insane when we get to her team skill. But yeah, heart runes possess 500% of the effect of all other attributed runestones, and you get an additional 2.5 attack for Shy members. So her leader skill is at a baseline pretty good, and it does show that her attacking runes is going to be rely a lot on heart runes, which is nice because usually the weakness is heart block, but remember the Shy team skill nullifies that, so you will always have attacking runes for a Shy team. So that is going to be really nice. And now let's take a look at her team skill, which is also going to have a bunch of staples like extra movement time, burning nullifications, sticky nullifications, extra team attack, extra recovery, also dodging the enemy's attack, which is really nice. Nowadays, I think a lot of teams have that, which, I mean, I'm not complaining. But yeah, you also have some staple shield breaks like fixed combo shield break, duo, trio, quartet, and quintet elemental shield break. And you are going to, cooldown reduction and then ignore scorching areas, which is a lot of utility that's very nice to have in a team skill. And yeah, you also have this one right here, which I will say it's a revival of a previous team skill that we had in the past. If you remember, I think there was the minerals, no, the perennial elves like Rose, Sakura, and Cornflower. whenever you overheal, the amount you overheal will be dealt as damage to your enemy. And given how Shy has a 20 times recovery multiplier on her leader skill and an additional 10 times multiplier on her team skill, her recovery is going to be quite insane, and this extra overheal damage is going to deal a significant chunk of damage. So in my opinion, this is a very nice thing, and it's interesting for me that they're putting this in a human leader when a lot of the high recovery teams have been elves. But you know what? Madhead is experimenting and I'm all for it. But yeah, we also have extra cooldown reduction for Teru, Iko, and I, and always for other series members, which is going to be the collab series. Just not the hero Shy, but also probably the villains, I think. But yeah, skill cooldown -8 basically means that for most members, this means your cooldown is ready at the beginning of the match. And most importantly, in my opinion, the first batch of runestones to be dropped will be Enchanted Heart human runestones. And this is insane because the amount of heart runes that drop will, one, increase your recovery, which is going to go through the roof and deal a chunk of damage based on your overheal. But also remember that heart runes are Shy's means of attack, so you are going to be launching beefy attacks as well. So that is very nice to have. And also, one of the weaknesses of high recovery teams is recovery inversion, where you can just die if you dissolve a single heart rune, and like an elf team. But Shy will nullify recovery inversion by activating any active skills in your team. And also recovery 10 million HP, which honestly, that's just there to deal with overheal enemies. So it's interesting for me. Also, recovery times 10 additionally if, for Shy members, which honestly at this point you don't really need that times 10. It's just gonna be insane. But I think the reason why we have recover 10 million HP here, it's going to be for enemies that reduce your recovery to 0. And I'm really hoping Madhead does not introduce a combination of 0 recovery and overheal shield, because that is very stupid. There's only a couple ways to deal with it. One of them is this type of active skill that recovers 10 million HP. But say if the enemy has more than 10 million HP, you're not gonna killing it if your recovery is 0. Either that or bringing Mistletoe, but Mistletoe is a one-time use, so you better hope that that thing kills, otherwise you might be stuck. So I really hope they don't introduce that combo, and I also hope that I'm not giving them ideas right now. But yeah, that is it for, well, by dissolving heart runes, which will always happen. The leader launches 1 non-attributive attack, as much as 1.5 the team attack to all ends. So let's go. So extra damage, very nice to have. So in my opinion, Shy feels like it's going to be a very fun leader. It's been a while since we've had a high recovery team with the overheal mechanic. I believe it's been like, I don't know, 5-6 years since that almost. I'm excited to play with it. And not only that, she does have a lot of shield breaking potential, as well as the stats and utility to make her a fun leader. So I'm really looking forward to playing with her. Yeah, playing her gameplay. Yeah, in terms of her active skills, they are also very good. The first one is CD6, removes tornado and enclosed areas. And this is important because one of the major weaknesses for teams that rely on Skydrop is going to be enclosed areas, because that prevents Skydrop from being dissolved. But your active skill can actually nullify it, so there's no problem with that, which is very, very nice for her gameplay. For the rest of her active skill, it is extra buffing and extra shield breaks, so definitely very nice to have. And also generate a full board of fire and heart runes of fixed numbers and fixed positions. So that is going to guarantee 30 heart rune drops from your team skill as well. I guess the only bad thing about this skill is that you will probably struggle a little bit with a 7 or 8 plus attribute group shield, because your heart runes don't really count towards those shields. or for example, yeah. So those things might be a problem, but I think with other team members, you should be able to get around that really, really easily. In terms of her second active skill, it is more of a defensive active skill, and it does have a condition for you to be able to activate it, but this condition shouldn't be too hard to get. I think one of them is the Dragonware, and the other one is having Aitanoji in your team. Aitanoji is a jackpot card, so hopefully you do get her in the past. While you're trying to get shy, while you're trying to get shy, hopefully you get Aitanoji on the way, so you can pair them up and benefit from this skill as well. But if not, I think you can just equip the Dragonware and it should be fine. So no need to get that jackpot card. But in terms of the skill itself, it's basically a defensive skill, because it absorbs the first damage of the enemies, regardless of boss. From buff skills like Bloody Scythe or percentage reduction, and you absorb that as HP recovery. Not only that, that HP recovery that you do is going to be, let's see, added to a fire counter attack, and it will be added to a fire counter attack that is going to be multiplied by 1000 and dealt to the enemy regardless of defense and enchanted runestone shield. So it is going to be very, very nice to activate it, because it will save you from certain situations. But I think that if you can kill the enemy before it attacks you, you will always be good. But this is a very nice safety net to have. It is similar to the Gabimaru active skill 2. That is, I only use it just to stall, because it cannot enemies cannot hit me. But I think I'll use this in a pinch to save myself. In terms of usefulness as a member, I think Shy is going to be very useful, because there aren't that many teams that can remove enclosed areas right now, or many members that can remove enclosed areas right now. So having her without any conditions to do so, it is going to be very nice. And plus the extra shield breaks and extra attack bonus and overpowering is going to be a nice addition for future teams as well. So yeah, overall, Shy seems like a fun leader, and as a member, her active skills are very fun, complement her gameplay, and I see potential use for her in the future. Now moving on to the second jackpot card, we have Spirit, and Spirit also has a pretty decent leader skill multiplier wise. It is a very simple leader skill, I will say that, but I think her team skill kind of makes up for that. But yeah, basically her leader skill is just multiplier on multiplier on multiplier, and base multiplier is going to be 170. Technically 170 times 1.2, because now water and heart runes are multiplied by 1.2 or 120%. For example, Shy, her leader skill is going to be 30, so 70. 70 times 5, so that is going to be about 350 as well. So, you know, very similar active skills. Or 350. So Shy is going to be dealing about 2 times more damage than Spirit, which is okay for a 1% jackpot card. But yeah, for Spirit's team skill, I will say, other than Shy, the other 2 jackpot cards don't feel as broken. But that is okay. We don't want to flood the game with too many broken characters, but they are a little bit underwhelming. Oh, so yeah, for Spirit's team skill, we do have the usual, like extra movement time, sticky and smog nullification, but you also remove mist. And I think this is really cool, because in the manga, Spirit has the ability of controlling gases, so it makes sense that gases will not affect her. And this plays into her team skill, because if you remove mist, you will dodge the attack of all the enemies and it will stay in play throughout the wave. So that is going to be super nice. Basically, you have unlimited time to kill the enemy, unless you have a countdown. But you know, Always nice to have, always nice to kill the enemy without them being able to touch you. But yeah, at the beginning of the stage, you do get and at the end of each round, you do generate a column of water runes and a column of heart runes, which will be very useful for your leader skill as well, because you do benefit from water and hearts being your attacking runes. However, you do, well, positives first and then negatives. Positive is that when you dissolve water runes and heart runes, you do get additional buffs. Water runes gives you an extra 8 times attack bonus, and heart runes give you extra combo. And here is the biggest weakness for Spirit, and that is that she relies a lot on water runes, and unlike heart runes where they can always be dissolved because of the shy hero team skill, water runes are going to be able to be blocked by your enemy skills like water block. And if that happens, your damage is going to suffer a lot. And you're going to be hitting like a wet paper towel. That times 8 is actually a very significant chunk of damage, and not having it is going to make it very rough, and you're going to have to activate burst skills to make up for it, in my opinion. So that is a pretty glaring weakness. But I think because Spirit is able to generate her own water and heart runes, it is still a very viable leader, because you can still have 100% uptime on all your buffs for this team. So I do think she's might be pretty fun to play as a leader as well. But I will say she is very vanilla and doesn't really have a lot of shield breaking utility in her skills. So that might pose an issue, especially when you are removing 2 columns on the sides that can potentially help you break, I don't know, Quintet Elemental Shield or the extra attribute group rune shield thing, or equal combo shield, etc. So that is also a pretty glaring weakness for Spirit, that she cannot really deal with a lot of the common shields in the game. So you don't see any initial. I know you do see initial, you do see puzzle, but you don't have like fixed, or you don't have equal combo shield, cross shape shield, etc. So those might be a little bit cons against her. In terms of her active skill, I do think it is a pretty good active skill. Explode all water, frozen, petrified, and condensed runes to generate enchanted water human runes. So that is going to be nice. The sniper damage, I still say sniper damage is nice, but not game breaking unless your team revolves around sniper damage. But the cooldown delay for enemies is going to be, and not only that, you do get a big chunk of self damage bonus as well as more shield break utility. So definitely good to have for a Spirit team. In terms of using her as a member for future teams, I do believe it is going to be very useful to have her, because the self increase of ×9 is one of the highest, or not one of the highest, but it is a significant self attack increase that any team that runs water humans will benefit from. And not only that, you are ignoring Rootstone combo nullifying combo seal, as well as first batch anti Rootstone shield. So that is utility that a lot of teams benefit from, and delaying enemies also really nice. So she is going to be very usable in future teams as well. Okay, now let's, oh yeah, so Shy and Spirit do have a combination skill. So if you do have both, their combination is actually pretty insane. A lot of buffs, a lot of utility, and a lot of shield break utility as well. So very nice to have. And here's the thing, you are able to get over the Spirit weakness of water block, because you are going to be nullifying any undissolvable runes if you have Spirit and Shy together in a team. And this is useful if you do end up pulling Spirit and not getting Shy, because you can use Shy as an ally and still trigger the combined skill. So that is very nice to have. But yeah, lastly, we have the third jackpot card, which is going to be Ai Tennoji. and she is a light human. And in my opinion, I don't think she's that great of a leader. Her leader skill is very simple: team attack times 10 and attack times 3 additionally, which is very, very much on the lower side nowadays for jackpot cards and black gold cards. But she does make up for it with her dodgy like skill, where her attack bonus increases by 200% for each combo made, which can help with her damage output, but I don't think it's going to be that much, because normally, if we look at her team skill, her combo increase is going to be plus 12, and let's say with an average of 8, that's like about a 20 combos, 200% for every 2 combos, that is going to be 40 or 4,000. Yeah, 4,000% is times 40. Actually, honestly, that is not too bad. Let's see, times 40. Yeah, 400. I might be doing my math, but yeah, it is going to be times 40, which puts her at a decent multiply. But I don't like the reliance on your combos when you're not a Skydrop or a single dissolve team, or 2 dissolve team. But you know, that's just me. But yeah, moving on, her team skills. Sorry about the tangent. Her team skill still also has the staples like extra movement time, nullifying burning, nullifying laser. But now you do alter all your members into light. Oh, and I will say, I think Matt had made a mistake here. I think it should say the leader is Tenoji I Tenoji, because this team skill is clearly very different from the Shy team skill, so it is impossible for them to be the but yeah, all runes does possess the effect of light runes, and light runes also possess the effect of heart runes. Active skills can be activated regardless of activation penalty, which is also very nice. And yeah, if you activate I Tenoji's skill, you do dodge the first attack of each enemy, and then after each round you explode light runes to generate enchanted light human runes, and explode heart runes to generate enchanted heart human runes. Very much like Arthur, where you do explode your light runes to generate more light runes. But these, in this case, you are generating enchanted human light runes, so you are going to be benefiting from a larger multiplier next round. If you dissolve light runes, and this is going to be her core mechanic and her core gameplay, and her core goal is to dissolve light runes. By dissolving light runes or heart runes, you generate extra combos as well as extra team attack and break shield. So in my opinion, you are going to be having to dissolve heart runes and light runes in order to benefit from this extra attack and extra combos. And the combos are especially important because her damage output depends on high combo count. So if you're unable to do that, you will hit like a wet paper towel as well. And you better hope you do not have a character or an enemy that limits you to have your combos below a certain number, because 1, you will have to bring a card that gives you a lower combo count, and 2, Ai Tenoji cannot deal damage if her combo count is super low. But yeah, light members minus cooldown minus 8 after entering the stage, as well as you get the diving mode, which is basically extra attack for the first time. Basically a ninja sneak attack, if you will. But yeah, in my opinion, Ai Tenoji is going to be kind of weaker than both Sky and Spirit. I do think she has the potential to be fun to play with her high combo game, but I do wish she had a way to generate more combos other than just dissolving light runes, like, I don't know, guaranteed sky drop, single dissolve. She does have a 2 dissolve with her active skill, but you know, more built into her team skill in my opinion. And the reason why I think she is weaker than the other two is because she has no way to generate heart runes or light runes. If you look at her team skill, everything is just runestone possession and also exploding existing light runes to generate existing light runes and exploding heart runes to generate existing heart runes. So you don't have a way to really generate your attacking runes, and there is a very high chance that, well, not high chance, but there is a chance that you will have runestone drought and not be able to have your attacking runes on the board. Or for example, if the enemy converts them away, you are going to have a rough time if you cannot generate those back up. So that's why I do think Aitenoji is the weakest out of the 3 cards, because she's a little bit more volatile, and you might run into some problems, whereas Shy and Spirit can generate their own attacking runes, so you will be able to maintain 100% uptime of your skills at all time, of your team skills at all time. But yeah, but still, I think she is still playable. So it'll be exciting to see how she plays. I will say though, she doesn't have that many shield break utility. Like, you don't have fixed combo shield, you don't have puzzle, you don't have initial, you don't have duo, trio, quartet, quintet, which are the most common ones. So that's why I also think she's not as great, because you might run into problems facing certain enemies by herself. You will have to bring your members for that. But I do think she will still be playable depending on how they tailored the stage for her. But yeah. In terms of her active skills though, I do think her active skills are really good. Because they are also very universal and they are able to be used by teams in the future. First, restore all cracked positions, explode all runestones to generate light and heart enchanted human runes, but also you do buff your team with 2 times attack and break your duo, trio, quartet, quintet elemental shield, which is what I was talking about. So nice that she has it in her active skill. And she also has a 2 dissolve for light and heart runes. So 2 of the weaknesses I talked about, she can resolve them with her own active skill. It's just that if your skills are on cooldown, you don't have access to that. So it would be better for her to have them in the team skill than in their active skill. But because of this utility that she has is not limited to just Shy members, she will be a very good card as a member in the future, because she does so much. And restoring cracked runes, cracked positions, without any conditions for attribute, race, or series is very useful and very valuable in point of time. So I do think she's good. It's just a shame that she is a jackpot card, because it means that to get this utility, you have to rely on your luck. But yeah, if the leader is a Shy member, you also break fixed combo shield, so that is also nice for this patch, because power creep will happen and Shy leaders are not gonna be useful, like, I don't know, a month from now. I mean 2 months from now. But yeah, her first skill, really good. Her second skill, it's nice. I consider it a bonus, but I think her main selling point is going to be her first active skill. Second active skill is just a defensive skill. It prevents you from being poisoned and also inactivates the enemies. But yeah, you do deal sniper to break stealth, but you do get a 1.5 damage increase on your enemy. So it is pretty nice to have that at CD4. But yeah, so in my opinion, I think Aitenoji is going to be more useful as a support for Shy rather than as her standalone leader. But yeah, that is my opinion on her. I will say, if you run leader Shy with a Aitenoji ally, all the combos Shy makes will benefit from the 200% damage increase from Aitenoji per combo, which is going to be really nice. But yeah, I do believe Aitenoji is going to be more of a support for shy rather than a useful leader, which kind of makes sense if you read the manga. Kinda. No spoilers from me though. But yeah, that is going to be it for the 3 jackpot cards. We will touch upon whether you should pull for them or not later. But let's take a look at the non-jackpot cards. And I do believe there are some that are really good, but Lady Black is not one of those. Lady Black is a healer in the manga, and her kit does reflect that. You do modify the runestones for, yeah, you generate race runes under your entire board, or if you're running a mono shy team. But you do heal your HP back to full, hence the healer role that she has. Gives shy members a cooldown reduction, and also allows shy members to deal damage regardless of cross-shape shield. So if you're planning on running a shy team, she is going to be really good support for you, because as you have seen, none of the shy leaders have a way to break cross-shape shield. So having this in Lady Black is going to be really nice. However, notice that all her effects list hero shy as a condition. So if you are not playing a shy team, she is going to be absolutely useless. But yeah, same thing for Mianlong. Mianlong is also going to be useless if you're running him outside of a shy team. However, if you're running him on a shy team, he is going to be pretty good. Well, you do get rid of all your debuffs like fatigue, hypnotize, paralyze, windswept, and change them into hyper mode. But you also inactivate the enemies for 1 round, which is his power in the manga to put things to sleep. So really nice thing to have. Pretty nice if you're running a shy team. I do believe you might benefit more from running other members, but he is still there to support shy, which is nice to have if you're planning on playing a shy team. Otherwise, just like Lady Black, I do think Mianlong is going to be relatively useless outside of a shy team. Next, we have Stardust, and I think... oh, sorry about that. Next is Stardust, and I believe, in my opinion, an absolutely completely honest opinion, this is the only must-get card from this series. And that is just my humble opinion. But I do believe that you will be sad in the future if you don't get this card. And the reason I say this is because, well, he generates a fixed board, which is always nice, and he has all 5 attributes, which will help with equal combo shield, 5 attribute shield, different combo shield, quint elemental shield, things like that, which is very nice. But the thing I really like about him is that he is going to give you, he is going to remove the drop rate of heart runes and any runestone of your choosing, and transfer that to the drop rate of other runestones. And you also dodge enemy, but I mean, that's whatever. And the reason I think that is so good is because if you've been playing this game for so long, or for a while, you should know that altering runestone drop rates is actually quite insane. Especially if you were playing back in the beginning, where the Fatal Call cards like Hephaestus, Panda, Wenzong, what's his name, Dark Yan, and I think Light Sea or something, they would transfer the drop rate of heart runes into their respective elements, and this would actually increase your combo count and damage output by so much. And the reason I think this is really good is because not only are you transferring heart runes, you're also transferring the drop rate of another type of rune. And the ability to choose what type of runestone you get rid of is very useful, especially nowadays that there are skills that increase the enemy's defense based on the combos of specific attribute runes that you dissolve. So unless you have a damage reduction, ignore damage reducing reduction enemy skill, or you just try to get lucky, those enemies could be quite a headache in my opinion. So by removing that attribute entirely from any skydrop that you might get is going to be very nice. The only thing is you don't have control of which skydrop it becomes, but it is pretty nice. And I'm really excited for this card because I want to try again the 999 combo setup, but having him instead of the other Fatal Call. It's going to be pretty fun, I think. But yeah. So yeah, in my opinion, Stardust only must-get card in the game. Very lots of utility and very good. Next we have Century. Century, in my opinion, is just okay. I think he is worth getting. Not as much as Stardust, but I do think he does provide plenty of utility for future teams as well. You remove Tornado and remove Crack positions, but that is only for Shy members and Fire members. So really good for mono Fire teams in the future as well. But also you generate 18 runes of your choosing. So that is going to be really nice as well. The self-attack bonus, also really nice, but I think the main reason why I think he will be useful in the future is the fact that he can generate a full board of any attribute element that you choose, or any runestone that you choose. And this is going to be very useful, especially nowadays that we're seeing an increase of enemies that can only take damage if you dissolve 30 or 60 runes of the same attribute before you deal damage. So he is going to be very useful in those scenarios, so I do think he is worth considering getting as well. Iko Koishikawa, I think she is going to be absolutely a must pull if you're planning on running a Shy team, because she is basically the Kaoru Kamiya of this patch. She has permanent uptime and will provide Shy and Shy members with a 2x attack and recovery boost. And for Shy, the attack is nice, but the recovery is going to bring her recovery even further and deal more overheal damage to it. So that is going to be really nice. And also she has a pretty good utility as well. If you are running a mono Shy team, this is permanent uptime thanks to her cooldown reduction. So it is one of those permanent buffs that you can keep applying in a Shy team. So I do think if you're playing a Shy team, a must get. If you're not, then nice to have, but not necessary. But yeah, that is going to be it for the. Oh, actually, Iko Koishikawa has a team skill where she can become one of the villains. But let's see, changes your active skill into the same thing. Yeah, the same thing, but Amarariruku members will get a 2.5 times attack bonus, and Shy will not benefit. So this, you are going to be able to use Iko Koishikawa in a villain team, which is interesting. I know why that is, but yeah, it is interesting. Basically, you're getting a buff member, or like a buffing member, support member for both the superhero team and the villain team. The villain teams tend to be a little bit less powerful because they are not part of the Diamond Seal. Their leader is usually the Nightmare Stage boss. And while they are useful and they can clear certain stages, the nature of them being free to play means that they will never be as powerful as other leaders in the game. But if you're up for a challenge and you want to try new fun playstyles, they are always super fun to try. And the fact that you can use Iko Koishikawa in both a Shy team and a Nightmare Stage boss team makes her a really fun card to have. So again, it reinforces my opinion that you should get her if you're planning on pulling for this patch, or playing with the characters of this patch, because she is going to be an amazing support for both Shy and Amarariruku members. But yeah, next we have, the same things. We have the Dragon Wares. Mm, you level up dragon wares. Always get the dragon wares. Make sure you equip their personalized dragon wares as well. But yeah, heart shift bracelet. I don't think you should use it unless you have because you have heartblade purity. So yeah, always equip your dragon wares. We do also have a special card, Teru, Iko, and I, which will unlock if you get all characters from the Shy collab. So make sure you do that if you want to get this card. And in my opinion, this card is actually pretty useful. Very nice if you have it, but if you don't plan on getting the Shy members, I don't think you should actively try to go for this card if you want to save diamonds. Because while their skill is really nice, there are ways to achieve the same result with other cards. But I do believe that this card is going to be very useful because there are not that many cards that can generate 60 heart runes. Heart rune skydrop is not that common. And like generating a full board of heart runes is also quite hard. So being able to guarantee 60 heart runes using this skill is going to be really useful, especially when you encounter heart rune shields and overheal shields, things like that. So it is going to be really nice too. But yeah, but if you don't get them, don't worry about it. You can probably get around those enemy skills in another way. But yeah, next we have the ultimate stage. We have Sveta. It is going to be an ice demon. And her skill actually does revolve a lot around her ice powers. So this is pretty cool. And a lot of attention to detail to the manga as well. So you freeze enemies, you inactivate them, and you also increase your combo and damage based on how many frozen runes are on the board. So that is going to be super nice. And you also you also convert the enemies into water and break fixed combo shield. So a nice addition to your team, in my opinion. A lot of her skills are universal and don't rely on the collaboration archetype, so that is going to be really nice. But again, there are other cards in the game that can do the same, achieve the same goal. And just remember that all these cards are free to play. You can get them, and I do recommend getting at least one copy of all the free to play cards because you never know when you might need them. But yeah, I won't really go into a lot of detail. I will say though, I like that Spirit and Sveta have a team skill together to increase their HP attack and HP basic value, because it does fit a lot with the manga and the anime. So yeah, we also have the challenge stages. These stages are usually really easy, so the cards that you get are pretty good but not super broken. And the fact that Stigma is one of the challenge stage cards means that I was wrong about who the Nightmare stage boss was gonna be. I thought Stigma would be the Nightmare stage boss. This just means I have to get to go and read the manga further and get further along in the manga. But yeah, I think Stigma, it's nice if you're planning on playing a I think he's nice, but doesn't provide enough utility to be worth putting in your team. He does give hyper state and frenzy state to your members, and also helps you break puzzle shield. But right now, the meta revolves around cards that can do a lot, because you only have a limited number of team slots, and this card doesn't do that much but yeah, doesn't do that much to warrant not bringing other cards into game. And in terms of using him for future teams outside of Shy members or Amarariruku members, Yeah, you do get fatigue stage for 1 round for all your members, which is a detriment that doesn't really outweigh the benefits that you get. Like, actually, the benefits you get from this card do not outweigh the fatigue condition that you're gonna get at the end. But yeah, because the cost doesn't outweigh the benefit. But yeah, we have Black Ring, more Dragonware, some team skill. Mono Amarariruku members, but we are going to have to wait until the Nightmare Stage boss drops to know what that looks like, because there's no way that any of these challenge stage cards are gonna be the Amarariruku member or leader. I mean, we have also Kufufu. This one is going to be pretty interesting. I would say I would only play her in a Amarariruku team, but I do believe that she is going to be very useful for that team because she is going to be able to deal multiple attacks of the attributes that you choose. She's going to be able to deal 10 plus attacks of the attribute that you choose, which is very nice because, again, Matt has introduced a new skill, enemy skill that allows them to only take damage if you deal a certain amount of a specific attribute attack. So that is going to be very nice for Kufufu because you can choose how many attacks of those to launch. And if you're running an Mono Amarariruku member, you're going to launch about 60 attacks of that attribute. So that is also going to be really nice. She is also going to be good at breaking the 5 attribute attack shield because she can also launch non-attributive attacks which break that shield unconditionally. Kufufu, very interesting card, definitely worth getting. And then we also have Doki, which is a fire dragon. Relies a lot on fire to deal damage, so he does ignite enemies and alter them into fire. But yeah, I think again a nice skill overall, but doesn't do enough to warrant a place in the team, because it doesn't provide that much utility. However, keep in mind all these are Amarariruku members, so if you want to have variety and if you're running a mono Amarariruku member team, you might have to put them in just to fulfill those team skill conditions. But yeah, I think that is going to be all for the Shy collab. So I'm really excited for it and interested to see how it's gonna play out. But yeah, now we're going to get to the main question, and it is if it is worth pulling or not. And in my opinion, and as much as it pains me to say this, I think this collaboration is worth skipping. And the reason I say this is because there's always a Black Gold card release during New Year's, and there's also a brand new Black Gold card release during Lunar New Year. And the Lunar New Year Black Gold card is typically meta defining, and lasts for a long time, and it is very useful to clearing stages. And a lot of content creators will use the Lunar New Year Black Gold card as one of their main stage clearers in the game. So if you need to save diamonds for that, you should start early, and by early it should be about now. Now that it is December, so you should have plenty of time to save diamonds for it. And the reason I say that is because the Shy members, although they are good leader-wise, and they also have really good active skills, their gameplay is very centered around the Shy team skills. And so I don't know if it's worth getting those cards for future teams. So I do believe it is a series that is worth skipping if you wanted to save your diamonds. That being said, get Stardust for sure, because otherwise I think you will be sad in the future. But yeah, now let's move on to the rest of the GNN. I've already talked so much. Yeah, we have a new Battle Pass card, which is actually really nice. You should get it because it's going to become one of the best universal buffers for light teams. You generate 3 rows, give yourself a team attack bonus of times 2.5, break initial shield and puzzle shield, but you also get a cooldown reduction of -5 if you dissolve 3 rows or more. And you are generating 3 rows of your choosing, so this is a permanent uptime buffer. So definitely get this card, definitely invest in it. Use Harpies, use your skill refinery for it, whatever you need to get this to dual max. But yeah, we also have a brand new Santa Claus, which is CD4 and also allows you to generate a full board of whatever rune you choose. So in my opinion, very nice utility, and definitely worth getting as well. But yeah, that is going to be all for this GNN news. It's a long one because we have a brand new collab coming out, so that character analysis took a while, and my throat hurts. And the unfortunate thing is that this is my second time recording because the first one, the audio came out really, really bad. But yeah, that is going to be all for this GNN news review. I am actually pretty excited for this collab because it's been a while since we had something fresh and challenging stages to play. Realm exploration isn't really my cup of tea. The stages are like very simple, consume a lot of stamina. There's so many stages, they feel kind of daunting. So I'm excited to get back some traditional ultimate stages and collaboration events, things like that. So I'm really excited for this breath of fresh air. But yeah, let me know in the comments if I said anything wrong or if I missed out on anything. And as always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Saviors content. But for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!